How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be talking a bit more about anime. We're going to be talking about Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. We're going to be talking about the entire series up to the point that I've watched. Right now I'm still watching the Rascal Does Not Dream of Santa Claus. So once I'm done with that, I will I'll post on that. I'm going to try to make sure that I'm done with it by the end of next week, but busy schedule. Spoiler warning. Put this at the beginning because I already went into spoilers. Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai can be a bit misleading to a few viewers. To me, it was definitely misleading in a different way. A lot of people expect more bunny girls. And in the actual show, there's only one bunny girl. And yes, she shows up for most of the show, but not as much as some people expected. For me, that was a better thing because just looking at the cover art for the show, I was like, my friend just made me just recommended me a Gooner show. It is a great show from start to finish. The entire show is just captivating. The characters are great. The plots, the story follows a lot of different plot lines. So each I'd say 2 to 3 episodes, you jump a different character, a different relationship, and a different thing. Sakata, which is the main character, he's the one that's constant in everything, and obviously most of the relationships are constant. I don't want to say that they're not, but they really do a good job at focusing in on each individual character when they have their own arcs. And I think that is something that this show does magnificently, because you get an hour and a half of these separate issues that I just think that it's a great show overall, and you should definitely go watch it. So let's get into just a bit of the nitty-gritty of the show. What's it about? What do I like? What don't I like? What's working? What's not working? Okay, so the show is about something called puberty syndrome. In the show, the way that they do puberty syndrome is traumatic events happen to people, or just something that, ends up traumatizing them, and they end up having these different, symptoms as a result of it. So in the first episode, and the thing that really kickstarts the show is Mai Sakurajima. She is invisible to the world. No one can see her, so what she does is she dresses up in a bunny girl costume and goes and walks around trying to see if anyone can see her. The main character, Sakata, he can see her, so this kind of then leads on to what the show ends up becoming. It becomes a romance / Sakata going and trying to take out of all of this puberty syndrome. Everyone gets it in a different way. For Mai, it was her becoming invisible because ever since she was young, she's the most popular actress in Japan, and so ever since she was young, she's always been in the spotlight. She doesn't want to be in the spotlight, or kind of rejected it after they started trying to over sexualize her when she was younger, and so that made her feel less and made her invisible to the entire world. There's some great plot lines in that. I'm gonna try not to go into spoilers because it is a longer show, and it is a longer concept that I will have to space myself out a bit more. Go into Mei's past and what really triggered this, and he's able to fix it by exposing her to the world. And how he does this is one of the cuter scenes for me, where he screams in front of the entire school that he loves her, and so now she's in the eyes of everybody again. That's Mei's arc. Then you have oh my god, there's so many names. There's so many names in the show, but there's this girl that is in love with Sakata, and she constantly rewinds time to try to be with him. Girls with body dysmorphia and not really looking at themselves very well, so they kind of separate themselves into two. It sounds like a weird concept, and I get that, but at the end of the day, these things are very real problems that just have a slightly more mythological manifestation, and I think that it does it in a very good way. The one that I find to be the best, and the one that I really want to talk about, is Kaede. Kaede is Sakata's sister. She goes through cyberbullying intensely and ends up having cuts all over herself. He sees how they just magically appear, but this is a clear nod to mental health issues and definitely self-harm. So at the end of the day, she, like, to kind of like cope with it, she goes through retrograde amnesia. And having this amnesia makes her a completely different character from the entire show. So Kaede goes and she basically becomes two different people. The way that this happens is the entire show, we meet a different Kaede. We meet someone that she talks in third person. That's a bit weird. She's always at home wearing her panda onesie. That's a bit weird. And so like she's a bit weird. They don't have their parents, and it's like, what the hell is happening here? In the last 3 episodes, it is shown why she is like that. And the reason why she's like that is because of this retrograde amnesia that I was talking about. She forgot exactly who she is. She forgot her parents. And so now the only person that she actually has is Sakata. So what happens is they get a lot closer. Obviously, like they're the only two living together, but we start to like kind of like get these pieces. Like Kaede doesn't remember who she is because she didn't recognize someone from her past. And then we have what's it called, her father like giving these nods. And once we find out that she actually forgot who she is, that's when her storyline really starts to develop an arc, because now she goes from a scared girl inside of her house, doesn't want to leave, doesn't want to do anything, to then wanting to be brave, and then wanting to push her limits and be like her brother. At the end of the day, what ends up happening is this new version of herself ends up like kind of dying. In a way, whenever she goes and does exactly what she wants to do, she goes and ends up dying in a way to the point where Sakata like is grieving the loss of someone that it was his sister at the end of the day, but he just got his sister back. So it was a very compelling moment where you understand why he's grieving, and you understand the sadness, and you really want him to be better because of it. But at the end of the day, it's like, but she's back. So are you grieving the fact that you lost her? It's so complicated, and later on in the different movies, when there's one focus on Kaede and her new self, they show it a lot better to the part where like Kaede has a lot of insecurity about, you talked very well about my previous self, but that's not me anymore. And I want to be that. I want to be the person that goes out and does all these things, because that's what she was. And so I'm going off on a side tangent because that's what I'm going to be talking about later. But the show does that. It brings very real issues in a less real circumstance to make it really compelling towards the characters. I found it to be something amazing. The reason why Sakata is so against puberty syndrome is because he lived through it. He lost his sister because of it. He has a big scar on his chest because of it. It's just something that really is personal to him, and so anyone that he sees with puberty syndrome, he's immediately there, immediately trying to help, and that's still real for this new show. I personally think that this show does a bunch of things well, to the point where me just talking about it excites me a lot, because I still need to go finish the rest of the show. Let's talk about the positives of the show. So, characters, amazing. You go into this not knowing what you're gonna expect, because again, you see the cover art, and it's just a bunny girl. So you don't really know what you're gonna go into, and you get this great combination of different characters. Sakata, he's sarcastic, he's funny, he has that like quippy humor with these different girls, and all of this that makes him such a likable character, such an intriguing character. Yes, sometimes he acts like he might not care as much, or sometimes he acts like he's a bit hard, or like a bit tougher than he really is. But then the moments where he is fighting his hardest not to fall asleep because he doesn't want to forget about Mai, those are the moments that are important, and those are the moments that these characters really shine. With Mai, in this show, you do get a lot of her good characterization. For me, where she really gets characterized extremely well is in the first movie that I will be talking about after this episode, just because I want to space them out a bit, because if not, I'm going to be talking in an hour about the Rascal Does Not Dream series. So Sakata is just a great protagonist, and the way that he is built up and the way that you follow him really makes sense for the rest of the show. There's no continuity errors for me. For me, I didn't see somewhere where I was like, Sakata wouldn't really do that. Maybe in the new show, it is like a bit more like a retired veteran type of vibe. But at the end of the day, I'm like, no, it makes sense. It makes sense. After everything that he's been through and after everything that he's done, there's actually so many reasons why he would do what he does. And I think that it's just a great showcase of that. When Mai and her younger sister come into like conflict and contact and stuff like that, you really want them both to succeed in their own way. They both explain their different moments and what they feel and how this affects them. How Mai wants to see her sister succeed and do a lot better, and how her sister is jealous of her success but still wishes it. It is so many moments like this where I just see the show and it's like, damn, like these characters were built exactly how they needed to be to make sure that the show moves forward. I just remembered the name, Koga, the girl that is in love with, she calls him senpai, but who's in love with Sakata. She is done so well in her 3 episodes that she gets. She is intricate. Why does she like Sakata? It goes into each bit of her character, and it does it in a way that I didn't expect. Why? Because I don't know if she's the second or third storyline, but you're barely getting into this. Okay, we just got out of this bunny girl storyline. Now we're getting into this different storyline that comes out of nothing, but they make the characters so intriguing and so compelling and so connected. It does a great job. Let's talk about some of the negatives. I don't really find too many negatives, to be completely honest. Yeah, no, with Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, I do not find any pressing negatives. Maybe there's like some stuff with like, I don't even find the animation to be a negative. I think that it's animated great, character design is great. Yeah, I think that overall it does what it needs to do extremely well. World building, I've never lived in Japan, and I feel like I understand a bit about what their life is like there, because they do a really great job at building it and what he has to do it. I don't think that there's any negatives to the show, and that might just be me, and that might just be like what a lot of people might say, like, oh no, but you missed the music or the score, and it's like, it's just great overall. But let's just be completely honest. It's just great overall. I'm not gonna find any negatives, and I'm trying to nitpick right now. I never script these videos, so right now I'm actually trying to think what was something that I did not like about the show. And there's nothing I didn't like, because it brought me back to the movies. It got me to get the movies, to get them, and then to want to watch the next show. So doing that is already something that's amazing, because for some shows that I was watching, it felt like a hassle to watch them. Right now, I'm excited to watch them. And there's a big difference in that. But yeah, I gotta get to talking about the other 3 movies. This show is just great. Go watch it. It's on Crunchyroll. Have a great rest of your day. See ya.